Hey, my friends, David Guido here, personal development coach, speaker, trainer, Zig Ziglar Legacy Certified Coach, and Zig Ziglar Legacy Certified Trainer, and author of the book, What If? 30 Days to Powerful New Perspective. And the question this week is very simple. Have you ever done something that took longer than it ever should have to complete? Are you there now? Do you have a goal that today, as you watch this in 2017, that is 10%, 20%, 60% complete, and yet a deadline of December 31st, 2013? You know? And it's just taken so much longer than it ever should have. If you're there, if you've ever been there, I think I'm the poster boy for that, actually, in some ways, because it's been on my heart to run my own business since the early 80s. And I've been doing it for 2 years. What is that, a 35-year gap or something between when it could have, should have happened and when it did? And what got me to thinking about this in particular this week is actually over the last couple of weeks, I've been reading in Exodus and Numbers and Deuteronomy in the Old Testament. I'm on a Bible reading plan to read the Bible from cover to cover this year. And right now, we're in Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. If you don't know what that is, that's where the chosen people are taken, God instructs Moses to take them from Egypt and lead them to the Promised Land. That trip from Egypt to the Promised Land should have been 11 days. If you know the story, it took 40 years. It took 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. Took me 30-something years to do what should have taken me weeks, months, a year or two, whatever. So I get it. And you may be there. Something's taking way longer than it should. So why is that? So what I started to do, I started to think about why is that? Why did it take them 40 years? What are the key factors in that? And how do they apply to us? How can we apply those in our lives today to make sure it's not taking us longer than it should to get from where we are to where we want to be? The number one factor of the 5 factors that are part of this list, number 1 is obedience. Are you obedient to the plan? To start your own business, there's steps you have to take. And the reason you have to take those steps is because they've worked for millions and trillions of people. So you need to take those steps. The reason that you are obedient to the sales plan is because dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of salespeople have followed that plan and sold a lot of stuff. But if you're not obedient to the plan and you're going in your own direction, then it takes 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. Number 2 is distractions. When you are trying to, your goal, your desire to get from where you are to where you want to be is to have a great relationship with your kids, and you work 16 hours a day, you're distracted. If your goal is to have a better relationship with your spouse, your significant other, and you're watching TV every night instead of investing in them, it's going to take you 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. If you're trying to hit a sales goal and instead of making the requisite number of sales calls that are part of the obedience of the plan, you're distracted by the golf game, by the 2-martini lunch, or by the afternoon where you can just go hang out at the coffee shop, it's going to take you 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. Number 3 is a lack of faith. If you don't have faith in the system, if you don't have faith in the people around you, if you don't have faith in the customers, if you don't have faith in your spouse or significant other, if you don't have faith in your children, if you don't have faith in it working out, and if you believe that it's always going to end up bad, then you are going to shortchange yourself. You are going to hamstrung yourself, make yourself hamstrung. Is that how you say that? And it's going to take you 40 years to do what should have taken you 11 days to do. Lack of hope. Lack of hope is the serial killer in our country. The number 1 serial killer. Because if you don't have hope, you are dead. And with everything going on around us, the sensationalism, the fake news, the negativity, the meanness and the anger and the bitterness and when things take longer than they should have, when we get down about that, we lose hope. lose hope, we don't believe anymore, it takes 40 years to do what should take 11 days. And number 5, the last thing is a lack of confidence. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that high self-image, that self-worth, that confidence to know that you can get it done, you won't get it done. You'll make excuses. You'll find other things to do. You'll allow the distractions to creep in. You'll lose faith. You'll lose hope. You won't stay obedient to the plan because you don't believe in your ability to follow the plan. And then it takes 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days to do. So those are the traps. Those are the reasons why. Those are the 5 main reasons why it took them 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. Lack of obedience, too many distractions, no faith, no hope, no confidence or belief in themselves. Those are the 5 things that keep us from getting from where we are to where we want to be, at least in the time that it should take, if at all. So what do we do about that? There's 4 things real quick that we can do about that. Number 1 is to pray or to meditate. If you're a prayer person, great. Pray to him, pray to whoever you pray to, and ask for that help and that guidance to stay on the right track, not be distracted, stay obedient to the plan, to keep the faith, keep the hope alive, and to be reminded of your gifts and your talents, because you have a million of them. We all do. You have gifts, talents, abilities. You've had victories in the past. If you're simply going to meditate on that, the purpose of that meditation is to refocus you on the good stuff. Refocus your mind to tell yourself, yeah, you know what? I need to be obedient to that plan because the hundreds of millions of trillions of billions of people that have, is it trillions and billions or billions and trillions? It's billions and trillions. Those people, were obedient to the plan and they had success. I'm going to meditate to remind myself not to be distracted so I can get from where I am to where I want to be in the time I should get from where I am to where I want to be. I'm going to meditate, remind myself to keep the faith and keep the hope because that's what makes it happen. And I'm going to meditate on my gifts and my victories and my talents and my abilities from the past and from the present so that I remind myself how capable I am of doing it. That's number 1. Number 2 is to compile that victories and gifts list if you don't already have it. What are all the things you've accomplished? What are all the gifts you have? What are all the talents you have? What are all the abilities you have? What are all the things you're grateful for? You get those lists together and you review those lists because they keep you on track. They don't allow your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-image, your self-worth to fall to the point where you're no longer obedient, where you're distracted, and where your faith and your hope go away. It's incredibly crucial and important to have those lists. Gifts, victories, abilities, talents, your gratitude list. Have all of that. Number 3 is to surround yourself with the right people. If you don't have a lot of faith and you don't have a lot of hope and you're surrounded by people who have no faith and no hope, you can't get from where you are to where you want to be. Certainly not in the time you should. If you're surrounded by people who refuse to be obedient to a plan or a system because they throw their chest out and say, I do my own thing and I beat to my own drum and I don't need to follow a system, that's great. But you're not going to get from where you are to where you want to be. Certainly not in the amount of time it should take. And if you're surrounded by people who believe it's okay to be distracted and who allow distractions on an ongoing basis, you're not going to get from where you are to where you want to be. So you want to surround yourself with people who believe in the process, who are obedient, who stay focused on the process and can help you stay focused on the process. You want to surround yourself with people that are full of faith and full of hope and people that have confidence. And that leads to number 4, which is your accountability partner. You need to have that person that rides alongside you, champions you, cheers you on, reminds you why you should have great confidence, great esteem, but at the same time, pulls you back into line when you get distracted, pulls you back in and gets you on the right path when you are not being obedient to the successful system. The person who helps you keep your faith and your hope up. So those are the 4 things we do. We pray, we meditate. We have our gifts and victories and talents and gratitude lists. We surround ourselves with the right people, and we make sure one of those persons is our accountability partner. And if we do that, we will stay obedient. We won't be distracted. We'll keep our faith. We'll keep our hope at the highest levels with our confidence. And we'll get from where we are to where we want to be in the shortest amount of time possible. And it won't take 40 years to do what should have taken 11 days. So thank you so much. As always, I hope that this serves you. Like, comment, share. Let's impact people together. And until the next time, get out there every single day and discover, reach, go. Discover something new. Learn every day. Reach out and serve someone and make a difference every day. Go for your dreams every day. Live the life that is so good.